All right, we are live. I've got the thumbs up. We are ready. I'd like to welcome everyone to the work session of Jacksonville City Council. Call this meeting to order and roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Laster?
Here.
Mr. Galloway?
Here. All right, everyone being present. Item 3 is the acceptance of minutes. Any questions, comments, additions, deletions of the minutes that were sent out? Brenda?
Good.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 4 is the farmer's market. Ms. Carol Miller, you'd like to come up, please?
Hello, and thank you for having me.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
My pleasure.
First of all, I'd just like to say thank you for, I don't know how I didn't speak with the mayor, how the conversation might have went about moving the farmer's market to this
Yes.
location.
Yes.
We all amongst ourselves thought it was a good idea, especially with the construction going on.
Yes.
I think our hopes are that you do so well here, it could become a permanent location because the aesthetics
I'm
and,
thrilled.
where are you? Great, thank
I
you.
am absolutely thrilled. It's airy, it's pleasant, it's big. We can do anything we need to do there. It's, I think, a great location with all of the neighborhoods in proximity. Walmart on Saturday mornings is always packed. We intend to blanket their parking lot with signage pointing them up the hill. I thank you all for giving us such a really beautiful location. I do have some questions, and I can wait and, can ask me stuff, or I can ask you stuff, or however you want to do that.
I'm okay with if everyone else is just open line of communication here.
What can we do to help you?
Well, regarding the new location, some of my older vendors request that we have some sort of access to a porta potty or a bathroom facility.
Yeah, that door's open.
Being able to
These
have
doors will be
it-
open, you can use these
That
for,
would be for the vendors, not for the public unless, in case of emergency. So you're okay with my vendors using that restroom facility?
It's open to the
It's open
public.
to the public, I would say,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
The
that's really wonderful.
We can lock down the rest of the building so they won't be wandering around through the building, but just that lobby area
Great.
will be open. The
That's
restrooms are.
fantastic. I really appreciate that.
and then we can make sure there's some signage for the vendors and those that who come and, so they know it's up here. I think you discussed maybe having some signage or self
Yeah, maybe
pointing.
just saying restrooms or something. that-
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be happy to do that.
Okay.
In light of the fact that we're moving and people are not gonna know exactly where we are. I have already ordered 20 additional farmer's market today signs, like the political signs. We already had 12. I ordered 20 more. We're gonna start at campus and come down every block until we get to here to divert people, and make sure that people know we're here. I've also ordered 3 new banners to put up. So we're gonna do a lot of signage. We're gonna have an article in the Anniston Star. I do multiple social media posts every week, and we're having our vendor meeting tomorrow night. We do one a season, and that's to go over all the rules and regs, make sure that everybody's on the same page. I would love to invite all of y'all to come. Anyone that would like to come and be a part of that, we'd love to have you. It's certainly not necessary, but if you would like to come, that would be great. I don't know whether all of you are aware of the fact that we are a certified market under the State of Alabama Market Authority. They are a division of the Department of Agriculture, and they govern our rules and regulations with regard to what can be sold and what condition it can be sold, labeling, all of that kind of thing comes under the State of Alabama Market Authority. As a certified market, which we became last year, it allows us to accept the senior vouchers, which is wonderful. And they're actually giving our seniors a little bit of a raise, which is fantastic. Last year it was $35 a season. It's gone up to $50, so that is something. And we have so many seniors that come to market. So I just wanted you all to be aware of that, and also have something to give you that we also just did. Last week I attended the statewide market managers meeting in somewhere in Alabama. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm a Tar Heel. Hanceville. I'm going to call it near Coleman. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. We're aware.
And I signed up on behalf of the market for a program that is called Sweet Grown Alabama. You may be familiar with it, you may not be. But it is a fantastic program that connects farmers, growers, et cetera, with markets.
Mm-hmm.
It costs a whole $100 a season, and I went ahead and paid for that out of my pocket because I think it's important that we be in that upper tier of markets in the state. And that is one thing that this gives us the right. We get to use their logo. They carry us on all of their media outlets and posts, et cetera. Their representatives will come and do things for us. So I wanted to give you that. So it's a good place to stop and ask if you have more questions, because I have some more.
I just believe we need to piggyback off and with our social media also. I know Ben's not here, he's out, but continue and maybe getting Ms. Miller here to make sure, if nothing else, the change of venue and then all this other, the certified market, I was not aware of that. So being a certified market,
Yes.
that's a lot, that's, in my opinion, is a big deal.
It is a big deal. It allows us a certain measure of credibility, a lot of credibility, as a matter of fact. It says that we have met all of the standards and rules and regulations that they require at the Alabama Department of Agriculture to be a certified market. We were inspected 3 times last season. Never know when they're coming. They send their compliance person out, or they send somebody out, and they talk to every vendor. They look at all the products. They look at everything that we are doing, and they either sign off on it or they don't. If they don't, then we have a couple of weeks to get everything in order. Fortunately, we passed with flying colors all 3 times. It's always a little unnerving to see one of them pull up and walk onto the parking lot with their clipboard, but they're doing their job, and I appreciate that. So,
How many vendors do you have?
well, the year before last, the 2021 season was our former manager's last season, and we had an average of 6. Last season, I took the market over about a month and a half before the market opened, and we averaged 24 last season. Some weeks more, very few weeks do we have less than 24 vendors. We have, let's say last year for the first time, we had pork. We will have pork, beef, and poultry this season. There is an exemption under the Alabama State Market Authority that allows for the processing of 1,000 birds a year to be sold at farmers market. So we'll have meat, we have all manner of food items. My goal, one of my goals, is to bring food, groceries to Calhoun County, Etowah County. Come to market first. Buy from your friends and neighbors. Buy local, then go to Walmart. To connect people with the person who is producing their food. We are a producer-only market. Nothing is allowed to be sold at that market now that has not been grown or made, or baked, or whatever by the person who is selling it. And that also is a requirement for a certified market. So.
I know I've attended a couple of markets in other places, and I'm impressed by how ours compares to it. Now, every market's different. I mean, I think because you've got different flair, or you've got just regional cultural differences, and
Sure.
I could see ours with this space maybe even growing bigger. There was one I was at in South Mississippi that they had somebody there on site making like egg rolls. And doing those type of things that are made fresh right there. And it was amazing how people were coming from miles away because they said, I know I'm coming to get that. It was on a Tuesday. They did theirs like on a Tuesday. But I could see this space helping with it.
I definitely agree. We were maxed out on space at Pocket Park last season. There were weeks that we were kind of crowding people into half spaces. This gives us all the room. I think we're going to be able to allow our vendors to back into their space, set their tents up in front of it, and then we have a walkway, and then we have something facing this way. It leaves a lot more public parking. We don't have to have extra parking because our vendors will be parked in their own spaces. One thing that we started last year was having live music every Saturday. There is one thing if I could ask, we need one outlet. Is it possible to get one outlet? Or is there an outlet on the side of the building that I can run, 100 yards of extension cord across the grass and not allow anybody to
Well,
walk
since the
over?
fire chief's behind you, and being a little familiar with running drop cords myself, that's probably not that. We'd probably find something else.
Is it possible to get an outlet put on one of the light poles? They have those little things, on them where it can be just taken off and wired in.
Can somebody
I've
not
been
bring
looking.
it like a generator or something?
I'm sorry?
Can somebody like bring a generator to
The
use?
problem with the generator is that they're noisy, and if the goal is to have live music and they're gonna have to get over top of a generator. I have absolutely no problem. I told, Mr. Mayor this, I have no problem with requiring my vendors to make arrangements. It would be really lovely to be able to continue the tradition of live music. I don't know whether that's possible or not, but if it could be considered, I would really be grateful. The public love it. They stand around, the kids love it, they stand around and sing, and, people dance, and it's just really lively and a lot of fun.
I have another question.
Sure.
We're doing all that, what about food trucks gonna wind up wanting to come up here?
Typically at farmers market, at certified market, food trucks are only allowed under very special circumstances. That's a whole different level of inspection. And if they're coming in to sell as part of a farmer's market, that's going to get really sticky because of selling hot food. They have to have their own licensing. My certification does not cover food trucks. So I obviously couldn't stop them from coming. It's a public parking lot, but to be part of the market, I think would be problematic.
I just think we need to look at it, cause it could wind up where it's ugly head.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't be able, I mean, I think based on our current ordinance, they would have to be a special event for
Yeah.
that, right? Being city property.
I would guess that that's the
Yeah.
case. I know the market that I did in North Carolina had someone who requested to come as part of the market. They did breakfast food, and it was not allowed under that municipal code either, and under their market authority, because it's just a totally different thing. It's a totally different level of certification, public health inspection, et cetera. So I think I probably would be with y'all's approval to just say no if somebody wanted to come in. I don't know. Obviously, that's something that y'all have to tell me what to do about
I think
that.
your rules pretty well cover that, because pretty much
Yeah.
specifies it has to be something produced by that person, and obviously they're selling hamburgers or something.
I know we didn't answer your question either about the outlet. We kind of,
I wanted to ask Chief about,
Yeah, do we know where?
that's my question. Where would the location, where would you prefer that?
Maybe wherever you can put an outlet. If there is one on a light pole, I will make that. The market supplies tents and tables and all of the setup for musicians and for special events, et cetera. And I can, anywhere you want to put it, I'll make that work.
Chief, about the electrical outlet where the fountain was plugged into, what kind of situation we have there?
There's probably power there, although that was a 220.
That's probably too big.
I don't know if it could be stepped down to a transformer off the feed, off that down to a 110, which would make it a lot closer to where she's talking about. We did that at the helicopter, or at the landing pad. We took a 277 volt and brought it down one leg of it to 110.
That's a possibility, I would say, because there is a,
Somebody,
I mean,
we could get somebody to look at that, right?
I would think so.
Well, somebody can send me an email and let me know. That would be wonderful. And that way I'll know whether to have somebody show up on opening day. We are planning on opening April 1st, so the countdown is on. We've never opened this early before. We're going to run April through the end of October. And then as last year. We did 2 holiday markets in November and 1 in December. All were very well attended. So we will have basically an 8-month season this season. And that has gone from just a little over 6 2 years ago. Last year we had 7 months, 1 week, and we will have 8 months. And the market, made money from vendors last year. So that was wonderful. Let me see here. Oh, I know, Mr. Mayor, we had discussed, you had said that there was a trailer that we could keep the market equipment in.
Oh, do you want to talk about that?
There's some buildings around back, they're just the Connex buildings around back right here. They don't have any locks on them or whatever, so.
I have one, can put one
Yes,
on
ma'am,
there.
just get with me and I'll show you where they're at and everything.
Right. I don't think that Joe and I can get all the market equipment and our own equipment, so market, and so that would be wonderful. Thank you. Banners. We typically have put banners on the market space. Obviously, this is not a dedicated market space. Are we okay to put up banners on Friday night and take them down on Saturday when market is over, like at the bottom of the hill and at the entryway? That I'm talking about 3x6 banners that say farmers market today, blah, blah, blah. Does anybody have a problem with that?
I don't think there's a problem with that unless we want to be careful that we're not blocking a stop sign
Oh,
or
absolutely.
something like that.
Yeah. Actually, I would like to put some down on 21, like in the grassy verge there. Would that be okay?
Let's talk about that later.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. No problem. We are fine to provide our own trash cans, trash bags. We will take care of all of that. There were ones there at Pocket Park. Frankly, I would rather police our own because they were problematic at times, and we do not at all mind. Joe and I have lots of trash cans, and we can buy a bag of trash bags, so we will take care of that. Other comments, questions, et cetera?
I just appreciate your welcoming of this change. If there was some concern for myself, people don't normally like change. They get comfortable in with that, but my thoughts were this would be a perfect spot for you and even allow you to grow in just the ease and the traffic and the vendors and like I said, the parking. It's all that will be that one-stop shop right here and restrooms.
And I'm grateful. I think some of my vendors are gonna, some of the people that have been there for a long time, change is hard. And some of them are not gonna be thrilled with not being somewhere on the main drag. But the reality is we had outgrown Pocket Park. It needs to be used for the city. Parking downtown is always difficult. I think we can make this work. I'm not afraid of that at all. Even if it takes us a season.
Sure.
It may absolutely do that. But that's the way it is anytime we make a major change like that. And I'm grateful, really grateful. I think it's just, when I rode out here, I was just looking around and I can kind of envision what it's going to look like. And we do have so much more available to us here. It's just so much more pleasant. And I think we can tap into a whole new customer base from all of those neighborhoods.
The aesthetics and being visible. I mean, the Pocket Park was great, but you weren't very visible unless the signage pointed you in that direction or you used Church Avenue. You didn't know. This is
Right.
there's a lot more traffic flow here.
And by the time we put half a dozen signs in Walmart, people are going to know we're here, I think. So I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I appreciate your allowing me to do this. I have done farmers markets in every aspect of small vegetable and flower, organic production, wholesale, you name it, I've done it for 35 years. And I do it for one reason. Money's not that good. I do it because I really want to foster that connection between producer and consumer, And I see farmers markets as one way of building local sustainable food systems. That's why I do what I do. So I have one other thing that I wanted to bring up, and I hope you don't get mad at me. I hate talking money. It makes me nervous, so I'm gonna get really tongue-tied and shake and stuff, because I don't like talking about money, because it's not why I do it. But I had asked about, huh?
We can talk money anytime.
I hate talking money. I don't like dealing with money. I had asked that there be consideration of hiring an assistant for the market this season. It has way outgrown the ability for one person to do the job. This year, every Saturday morning, there will be 32 signs to put up and multiple banners, and they will have to be taken down as soon as market is over. I start working on the next Saturday's market on Sunday. There are multiple social media posts that have to be made every week. It is a relentless job. I spend all of Saturday morning. A lot of people, those of you that come to market know that we have our own vendor space. Joe runs that. I don't ever sit down. I never even get to be in my space because it requires that. One of the things that occupies a huge amount of time at market is the senior voucher program. When our seniors show up, a lot of the time they don't know what to do. They don't know who to go to. They don't know how it works. They don't know how much money is on their cards. They don't know who accepts the cards. And that's my job. And that's how I spend most of my Saturday morning. But there's also paperwork that has to be done and funds collected and receipts written and vendor difficulty, shall we say, to handle. And during the week, it is a constant thing between having to file the paperwork with the Alabama Market Authority. I work very closely with Calhoun County Extension. It is a job. I spend about 20 hours a week minimum on not on my own production, but on the business of running the market. And I know that my contract with the city is up for vote tonight, and I had asked for a very small raise. But even at that, it comes out to $5 an hour for me. Like I said, I don't do it for the money, but I do need to have the ability to make it work. So I had wondered if there was room to consider the possibility of hiring an assistant, for even just for the market hours, to have somebody there that can help do some of the legwork, put up some of the signs on the way to market. Joe did them all season, last season. He can't do it this time. It's too many signs. He just can't do it. There's not enough time. And I hit the ground running. I get to market at 4. And I spend the first hour setting up my space. And from 5 o'clock, when the first vendors come on the parking lot, until 1:30 when I get away, I never even sit down. It is that labor intensive. And that's just the 8.5 hours of market. It doesn't take into account all of the stuff that has to be done during the week.
What are you talking about? I mean,
If you're making $5 an hour,
they do it for $4.50.
yeah, they're gonna do it for 3 or 4, yeah, 4.
How many hours?
It would be a lot less hours. We had discussed it, and the figure of $1,500 for the season was talked about. If that seems high, or if it's just not something that can be considered, I will obviously, graciously accept the judgment of the council. But it is not the same market that it was. It's just not the same.
Another thing she hasn't mentioned, she has to visit these farms too.
I do. I have
Site
to do
visits.
a
Yes, do those site
site
visits,
visit
which
for
takes a lot of time
farm
too.
to make sure that they are indeed, if somebody shows up with cases of tomatoes and they've got 5 tomato plants, in their garden, they have to leave because we are a producer-only market. You can't go up on Candler Mountain and buy cases of tomatoes and come and resell them anymore. Simply can't be done. So it's in the past, the vendor fees that were charged went into, I guess, paying, I don't really want to say a whole lot about that, but paying an assistant or just in somebody's pocket or whatever. But now, our costs, we spent everything we pulled in last year. We partnered with 4 local nonprofits, JCSC, after the Christian school burned down, we raised money and supplies for them. We partnered with Second Chance. We partnered with Steel Magnolias, which is a breast cancer support network for breast cancer patients. All of those, we did a fall festival. We had games. We did Trick or Treat in the Market. We had a Memorial Day thing. You know, we do a lot, and it costs. So the vendor fees, which are, you know, going to whole $10 a week this season, go to pay our expenses, and they don't really quite make it most of the time. So
we're looking at $1,500 for hers and an assistant.
Hers has been 2,600 in the contract you have on the agenda tonight. It's 3,200, raised at 600, which is not a lot when you consider what she does.
Not from April to October.
So if you
Yeah.
put 1,500, you're talking about $4,700 with an assistant. Is that right?
I have to get my calculator out. I believe that's pretty close.
That's quick math, and I think you're over.
Well, I got my shoes off and I'm counting, but, my point is, how much do they really bring in? Are we overlooking what they bring on a Saturday morning and people coming here, eating breakfast and going there, eating breakfast, buying gas on a Saturday morning? So there's an indirect revenue that we're getting out of it.
Well, I look at it as a quality of life issue. Is that,
Fresh.
right, we don't make anything, we don't try not to lose anything, but it is, people always want to know what's something to do. I need something to do. You know, what's there to do in Jackson? Well, right here, that's what you gotta do. We got
And for health reason, why eating healthy, fresh.
And if you go Google economic impact of farmers markets on small town America or on local municipalities, et cetera, you will find study after study after study after study by various state departments of agriculture that list the benefits. And they're not just, I mean, all of the things you're talking about, quality of life, health issues, all of those things are important, but there is definitely a dollar for dollar economic impact as well. And you know, and our vendors are
You see what I'm saying?
citizens of the county, and they pay taxes, you know, and a lot of them, this is not a hobby. It's not a hobby for me. It's not a hobby for the vast majority of our vendors. This is how they pay their bills. This is how they send their kids to college. This is their revenue stream. And so, I think that there is a definite economic impact to having a viable, successful, vital farmers market.
All right, I'm doing all the talking again.
Well,
You can
shocker.
talk money. I said he could talk money.
That's okay.
You're only putting signs up on Friday, right?
Yes, because, well, the banners that will be on the square this year will be different than the ones that have been on the past. And there was one on one end, one on the other. And I ordered new ones this week from the Opportunity Center. They say farmers market Saturdays, 7 a.m. until noon, and then they have the new address on them.
All right.
So, and then all the other signage has to go up on Friday.
Can I go up on Thursday? I mean, I'm not trying to break rules or whatever, but if I was doing it and if you're looking at marketing, it seems like it more and more sense like on Thursday, people start seeing the signs about Saturday instead of Friday night, and you got it.
Sure.
I
I'm game. I had been told that would not be appropriate.
don't know. The mayor may shoot me for saying this, but, to me, right off the bat, why don't we go ahead and look at, say, $5,000? That'll give more money for more signs, get them somebody to put them up, take them down. And it frees you to do what you may be able to get more vendors if you got more time to go out and recruit, right?
Absolutely. Right now, my recruiting is basically online on social media. I would love to be able to go places and do things. I'd like to be able to go in schools and talk to kids about growing gardens. I mean, there's so many things that can be done to bring a focus to food and the production of food and how important it is to eat healthy, all of those kinds of things. So thank you. I appreciate your
I mean,
sharing.
whatever everybody else is, but I think it'll generate having more signs up, having somebody to do specific things. It'll help, it'll make it break even for the 8 months. I mean,
Thank you.
you
I
don't,
appreciate that.
you're gonna get me in trouble, but I mean,
I'll make you some banana bread to make up for it.
could you make some banana pudding?
No.
I'm not being picky.
I'm telling you.
Placing a to-go order.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I didn't say that. I was just asking.
Oh, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think we have to be careful about putting signs up on Thursday, though. If you do that, you're gonna have to let everybody else do it.
Yeah.
So you
okay.
do your
we're
work.
actually breaking it on
Start-
I
time.
got you.
I was gonna say, we actually,
We're
Just
breaking
put
on.
more signs up on Friday.
That's the plan, Friday or, Saturday morning or whatever. It had been indicated to me that it would be better not to send them up.
What we could do is get some signs about the farmer's market and put them on mayor's car, and when he rides around town,
Do more social media posts.
Huh?
Do more social media posts.
Yeah, I mean, I do great things in Jacksonville, what's happening in Jacksonville and our own site, as well as the Weaver Community Group. And I do, the same information goes up on all of those, and I do 4 different days of that, sometimes 5, because we do this thing called Market Bucks. It's a drawing. Every Saturday, somebody wins 20 Market Bucks, which they can spend anywhere in the market, and then I pay the vendors back, so the vendors aren't out of pocket at all, and the customers love it. So Sunday, the first thing that happens is that we post that week's winner, and with holding up their Market Bucks. So it starts on Sunday,
Wait, you do all this on 20 hours a week?
sometimes more.
I mean, there's
But
no
I've been
way to
doing
do
it
it.
a long
You're
time.
not
I'm
doing
very
all this in
efficient.
20 hours a week.
I'm very efficient.
And I'm no farmer, I guarantee you.
you get a lot done when you're out there at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But, and two, I knew, I'm not certain if the chamber and County Chamber Area Visitor Center, but they used to be able to provide for persons print material of what's going on. And I mean, the farmer's market's something that if you're talking April, October, you're all but, you're half of the year,
I
a
know.
little bit more than that. And
Yeah.
so even getting some information into those communities, talking about using social media, but where that's a heavy time for a lot of things at Chocolaca Park, and the things that Oxford brings in. And those people are still looking for that, what can we do? So it's not just even people in Jacksonville, it's the
Yeah, I
transit.
agree. I think getting some information at the chamber, we can print up a flyer.
So that's what I'm
and
saying,
put
an
it at the
opportunity center
chamber.
printing
I think
something,
that's
or
a
the
great
campus
idea.
print center, or some printing market, or printing press to put things out. This is happening in Jacksonville, because I think the co-op, or the extension, you mentioned them earlier, I think I remember seeing that this market's listed on their
Right.
list, yeah.
Yeah, Tammy Hall is the person that I work with at Calhoun County Extension, and they're great about they provide us with swag, stuff to give away, and she will come and do cooking demonstrations, which is something that Sherry and I had talked about, which I would love to do.
Now, I won't be cooking, I'm just tasting, okay? Let's get that straight.
You can teach us all how to order out, right?
Yeah.
So we, the chefs from Athena's already come to market and do a lot of their shopping, which is lovely. I would like to get more of the cooks and chefs and local restaurants coming to the market. I'll feature them, and one thing we are gonna do this year, I'm gonna make it available to all of our vendors who want to participate, and I think most of them will. We're gonna do a 10% JSU student discount with an ID. And vendors can participate or not, but it will be up to the individual vendor. Most of them will do it. And that's a way of kind of hoping to draw some more students in, which there's 10,000 of them and 400 faculty and staff. And I want them. I want more of them. And I think that's one way we can do it. So I'm done. Does anybody else have any questions?
To make sure we know where we are here. Now, you have on your agenda tonight to approve her contract. And it is 3,200, which is a little more than had been the contract in the past. What are we saying about the assistant? We don't have that on the agenda. We can always do it at the next meeting if you want to do it, but she needs to know, I think, that if we're gonna do it or we're not.
You convinced $1,500, I mean, can we do $1,500 for the assistant if she feels comfortable? That's
Well,
40.
How about if we put it on the agenda next time, you vote it up or down? Can we get it on tonight, Patty?
I have a question. Do we want to just give her the
The 1,500?
and let her
But
give
that's
her
what I
own?
was.
I think so.
Uh,
How about just change this contract to say 47?
Right here, five.
I would like for somebody to, like, be official oversight of the fact that I do turn that $1,500 over to somebody. If you want to give it to me, I'm okay with that, but I want somebody to see me give them the money, just for clarity's sake.
Just so you're aware, however, a 1099 would go out for the total amount for you.
For me,
tax.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, if you're
So
getting
I
it.
want to think about that aspect.
That
of it
is
as well.
certainly true too.
So-
Yeah. I mean, I would prefer that there be a separate contract if that's doable, just because I think it is clearer, all the way around, and that way,
Well, it'll have to be next time.
Yeah,
Do
let's
another
just do
contract.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, she's aware. She can be
Yeah.
talking to people about it.
I don't think we have an
Get somebody
issue
lined up.
at all doing that.
with both the 32 and the 15.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I think, and then, but we'll have the assistant on the agenda for next meeting.
There is another issue here we need to talk about a little bit. There is a provision in the contract from last year that the contractor has to provide liability insurance. I'm kind of under the impression that that's not necessary with our AMIC insurance, but Brenda did reach out to AMIC today, and the information we got back from AMIC, they didn't really say it's necessary either, but kind of said it was probably a good idea. Richard, what's your thoughts on what we need to do there?
And bear in mind that all of the vendors signed a complete liability release agreeing to hold harmless the city, the market, and me. They are not allowed to be there and be selling without signing that liability release, so.
But if somebody gets hurt just walking around though,
No different than it was
I was
at
gonna say, I
Pocket
think
Park.
that was.
Well, they gonna sue us.
yeah, they're gonna sue us one way or the other.
How much
Is
is
that
that?
kind of what we're getting at?
Well, in the past, there has not been an amount, so I guess you can get it for $1.50 if you want. I mean, that's the other thing. If we're gonna require it, we need to set an amount that we're gonna require.
A minimum.
And then who's gonna pay for it? Are we gonna expect her to pay for that out of what we giving her for all she does?
AMIC said no, there's nothing that's.
I think I passed around the thing that Amick said. Did I not pass that?
Anytime they lease their own facility, of course, have someone provide a service for them that they require, to have a contractor to have their own liability coverage, and add the city as an additional insurer.
So how much, I mean, are you talking about $1 million per accident or?
Oh,
They
definitely.
have to have liability insurance, it's not for a certain amount. Basically saying that if the city is named as an additional insurer on the tenant's policy, then there would be defense on the tenant's policy, so that means it wouldn't cause our premiums to go up if there was something and we were named also.
We have not had that in the past, correct?
It's been on there, but we never have really enforced it. As far as I know, nobody's ever bought
It's never
before.
been,
I-
what I was told was that it wasn't
I've
necessary.
researched my office and trying to find a copy of a proof of insurance, with liability insurance for past and never could find one.
I changed the contract to read recommended contractor obtain general liability insurance coverage must include City of Jacksonville as an additional insured on said policies. Certification insurance must be provided to the City of Jacksonville. If she decides to buy some, then we need to be a part of it, the name, but not necessarily required to do it. It's up to her if she wants to risk getting sued without the liability insurance. The other option is say, yeah, you gotta have it, but then who pays for it, how much? How much liability?
Can we put that on the next time when we bring the 1,500 about that insurance and find out how much it would cost to do it? And that would help us, give us a little bit of information on dollars and
We can do
cents.
that,
Would you like me to see what I can find out?
sure.
I'll be glad to
It'd be great to
see
see
what
what
I can
others
find
do.
out. Because to the best of my knowledge, in the 20 years that the market's been open, never been a question. I understand the concern, for sure.
And if they say that they cover the city, they don't cover anybody else, which means she won't be covered in the venture. Only the city.
That's in our liability release. It specifically says the city of Jacksonville, the farmers market of Jacksonville, and market manager. So it lists all of that in the liability release. If that isn't adequate, certainly, with me, certainly okay to see what we can do about that. I have absolutely no clue what the cost would be. I mean, I have no guess.
I have no idea.
I think we need to research that carefully with this day and time where we are. and where we- Just to know that we've checked the boxes.
You wanna just hold off about approving this contract tonight till we know?
I would.
I mean, I
I think you have a pretty good idea of what's gonna happen. I mean, we gonna,
right, and we want to do the assistant, but I think we need to check all the boxes before we get liability wise.
we can wait and do both things.
Everything on the 27th.
I think going forward, I think that's probably a good thing to have really clear, as opposed to just sort of, well, this is the way it's always been, and this is what I was told, and, I mean, I personally would like to know too.
Sure.
So I will be glad to make inquiry. It occurs to me that this might be an area where the State Department of Ag could make some recommendations about who to contact. If not them, I can't imagine anybody that would be any better to contact than them. And the State Farmers Market Authority, I'm sure that they have dealt with this before. And I will be happy to make a phone call and see what they can tell me about where to at least start making inquiries. I mean, are we talking about just going to, I don't know, State Farm, or?
I'm sure they're gonna tell you to go to the.
Well,
You go out.
what about Sweet Grown, Alabama? You've got financially supported by the state legislature. There may be some,
And they're partners with Alpha in that
Yeah,
too, so
so-
I'll tell you, the first stop's gonna be Alpha.
Yeah, and this Sweet Grown Alabama is a huge program. It is the darling of the Department of Ag right now.
Well, we're not the first ones to run into this, and I'd rather not reinvent the wheel. Let's just see what's out there, and by the next meeting, we'll be good to go.
Interestingly, it's not in any of their recommendations, which surprises me. And maybe it's just that they don't want to wade into municipal decisions. That wouldn't surprise me. But it's certainly a place to start. And I can call them and say, what can you tell me, and who should I talk to? And I'll be glad to do that. And I will, Patty, I can send you what I find out. Is that good? If I send that to Patty? Okay. One more thing, I have a key. This is the key to the old police station that we had one room in to store the market equipment. You get the key. It's all cleaned out. All of our stuff has been taken out of it, so thank you. Does anybody else have anything they need me for?
we thank you for what you do.
Thank
You'll
you.
get with her on the
Appreciate you.
contact part.
Thank you for that information for the day. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
They
for
don't
everything.
sell banana pudding.
you know, pass it around, that's some comments back to Amy. I should have done that, we just didn't get that done in time. Just got it done today.
Yeah, well, I understand us being cautious, but, we're the forward to making it simple and difficult. You want to get a copy, Richard? Did you have this?
He's read it.
That's what he just.
I've seen it.
That's what.
I may give somebody one, you had put your comments on, I don't seem to have it.
All right, if there's nothing else on the farmer's market, we'll move on to item 5, and it's gonna be the HVAC improvements at the community center. Janice?
You don't have questions, we got business, all back.
If you don't mind, just coming to the podium and going over the process kind of quickly, and I know we were, how the bids played out, and there was probably an extremely high bid, and
So, we advertised it for, I believe, 3 weeks, and then, we received bids February the 22nd. we did have, 4 bidders. The low bidder was Coosa Heating and Cooling, and their total base bid price was $373,000. So, the next lowest bidder was NSC, and they were at $386,478. Comet Flow was $397,000, and then we had Heating and Mechanical at $630,000. So, we had 3 bids that were kind of right there close together, which we really like to see. That shows that they've got some good competitive bidding there. We had some other numbers on there. We had, had an alternate that would give some UVC protection in the ceiling cassettes. So that was what that alternate number 1 was. The unit price number 1 was to add or delete the VAV box. If we got in a situation where we needed to do that. And then the second unit price was to add or delete UVC on the ceiling cassettes, that number there. So what our recommendation would be to proceed with base bid. That gets, when you walk in the building, you've got the left-hand side. It replaces that split system unit that serves the meeting rooms and the office area. And then it also adds a separate system to the office area with the VRF. The split system unit lead times are 25 to 26 weeks. So that's going to put us, at the time of the bid, it would put us in the end of August. So we're a couple of weeks past that now. Now the VRF, that's going to condition the offices, that would be much sooner. Still possible there. So it gets the, so there's 5 units that serve the office area, the conference room, the manager's office, there's those units there, and then there's one right when you walk in, you've got the front reception area, there would be one right there. So those are the units we're looking at. Out of that $373,000, it includes a $33,000 contingency. So we hope that that money is not used, but since it's an existing building and we don't know when we start working above ceiling, we don't know what we're going to encounter. That's why that number was included as an allowance, and it's in that base bid price. Any questions for us?
I don't think so.
No.
I think we're all still trying to sink in 373,000.
Yeah.
That's where we're a little silent, a little sticker shock.
We did look at some value, some feedbacks, and what we looked at is you've got for a total of 14 VAV boxes. 5 of those serve the office area where we're doing the supplemental system. If you wanted to not replace those 5, then that would give you a $16,000 credit. And then
Still pricey.
right.
Yeah.
And then we had we also had in there right now, you have a computer system, that building automation system that controls the HVAC unit. That computer is in software would have been put in when the building was built. So this includes upgrading that computer and software because we did not want to put in a new system and then have the computer go down and so, but that's about, another $8,500 there. So, our recommendation, for a complete package would be to replace all of it, but you do have those options to reduce the cost there. That we could definitely.
What's the number?
That computer was in 25 years ago. It's gonna blow. I'm sorry, it's.
The keypad is a stone tablet.
I'm not sure Jen can even keep up.
All right, so it's
Nor that you want to.
When you're saying with the way the week's out, we're looking at August before it was finished or before we get started?
No. We could start right away. So the contract time that we were in out of the project was 120 days. So, what we talked to the contractor, the low bidder about would be, basically breaking it up into 2 phases. So your phase 1 would still be accomplished in the 120 days, and that would include the VRF system and your VAV boxes. And then, of course, the computer could go ahead and be upgraded in that time frame.
Well, I don't want to be summertime. I mean,
Would that affect your summer program any?
It's not operable right now,
Yeah.
so it's already being affected.
Pushing through is about 50% I mean, with summer program, we shift them around all over the building anyway, so
More people do.
they would love that.
Of course.
So it would get the office area, but the meeting rooms, it would not, you know.
But your install, it sounds like install for those meeting rooms would be in that pushed out time frame.
So the work inside the room would be could be done during that 120 days, because the part we're gonna be waiting on is gonna be the air handler inside the mechanical room and the condensing unit outside. And actually, the condensing unit, the part that goes outside, is our longest lead time. That's the 25 to 26 weeks. The air handler was 18 to 25. And we checked 4 or 5 manufacturers on that to see if we could get anything better, and they were all right there in that time frame. So, right now,
It's not like there's much of a choice.
Well, we're familiar with,
Yeah.
And part,
Delays.
I mean, y'all are adept at working around things.
Mm-hmm. Making it work.
we very much appreciate the opportunity to work with you on this project. And we'll do everything we can to make it a successful project. But if you do want to consider any of those DE options, we'll write that up for you. Make sure you've got that information.
portable air conditioners and heaters in each room.
thank you, ma'am. Is there any other questions?
I knew that'd get you back.
Thank you.
Hey, we don't have a choice.
We don't. Well, just, we're blessed it lasted 25 years.
Yep.
That's a long time.
Yeah, yeah, it's just. Any other comments on that? All right, item 6 is municipal court information from Judge Jason Oden. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Doing well.
And I know it's not gonna take long to go through this because this has been presented to y'all before. I know Travis has talked to the council previously. Basically, this is an amnesty program Travis has discussed with you. This is not a program to just completely forgive things. This is a program to give those people that have kind of fallen off the radar. Ones that have fallen behind on their payments and may have not showed up to court and they've got arrest warrants pending. This gives them an opportunity to come in during the month of May, clean up their situation. Either they pay it off or they come on a court date and talk to me about the situation, if they need to get reinstated to a payment plan, et cetera, and get those arrest warrants knocked out. So they're not getting picked up, you know, when they're taking their kids back and forth to daycare or whatever, and then have issues. This gives them an opportunity to do that. Now, of course, if they're not here, if they're in Anniston, Piedmont, and they get pulled over, then it's gonna happen. But if they come here during that month, they'll have the opportunity to get those arrest warrants wiped out. This is not to say that previous administrations have done anything wrong. This is just myself starting the first few months and Travis and I talking about ways to do things to, you know, signify that there's a new administration and working well with the council to get this done. I'd like to also ask for the use of your IT and PIO officers to get the word out. And of course, I wanted to come and make that request to you and be available to answer any questions that the council had.
Well, I appreciate you looking at this, you and Travis, that there's so many people out there that kind of get behind and they can't get ahead without some kind of forgiveness like this or another way of not necessarily forgiveness, but a fresh start, able to take care of it. It just escalates. You say, just, you know, picked up on simple roll and go at a stop sign, and then this escalates to do something, and then they can't work, and that just aggravates something else. it's just a horrible snowball type effect.
They've got their kids in the car, DHR has to come pick them up while they go to jail, and so it definitely can ruin someone's day.
Well, what do they need from us? I mean,
Blessings.
This is just a blessing. I wanted to make sure you knew. I didn't want anyone to, see this and come to you and ask you a question and the council not be aware of it. I wanted to respect the legislative body.
Judge, do you know how many could take advantage of this, just on a count?
I don't have an exact count, but there's a bunch. And there's some that go back to Judge Maloney's term. And they're just warrants that are sitting out there waiting. So we do want to be able to look at all those and try to help folks get a fresh start.
And we're clear that there's no funny business when they show up, that this is not a ruse, like, hey, you're getting Super Bowl tickets when you show up, and then, yeah, I don't know.
I think the police department will appreciate having some of those warrants knocked out, because it clears up their files in the dispatch area too.
Absolutely it will. And, I'm a fan of these programs, I mean, because some of these start out as, one, it wasn't a break. This is a breaking of a law.
Mhm.
This is not saying that it's okay to break the law, but we understand that, hey, you might be skirting because you can't get ahead. Come in and let's get it cleared up and let everybody have a clear conscience.
Absolutely.
Just make sure as we tell everybody, there's no ruse here, that you don't come in and then we say, just kidding, I'm all for it.
I'm good.
they keep Cody out of jail.
That's it. I just put it in my calendar.
You coming in here May 1?
Yeah.
Travis and I will get with Ben and we'll figure out how to get the word out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that would be
I
a good
think
way
it's
to do
great.
that too.
It is good.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
All
You
right,
too.
thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, item 7, AMIC voting delegates for the May 11th meeting.
Did we not decide on that?
Isn't it
No, this is voting for the,
This is insurance.
Yeah.
The delegates for the league stuff last time. This is for the
League, now we're talking AMIC.
dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, what is that? Is that the 11th, the Thursday?
Where is that? Where is that?
It's the same.
Same
day.
place.
It's the thing in Birmingham.
Same time.
It's at the league meeting.
We can't do the same, I mean.
let's do what we did. I think you're
Just
primary, I'm secondary, and Cody's tertiary.
This one, you just need a delegate and a proxy, and the meeting is Thursday, May the 11th at 11 a.m.
11.
Separate meeting, but at the same convention.
Let's just do that.
Okay,
Simplify. Works.
we're fine. Primary, Terry's primary, I'm secondary.
He's numero uno.
And who's the proxy?
I am. Unless someone else wants to take it.
Just let it
leave,
mirror.
I mean, no, that's.
I got graduation.
I was really looking forward to that, but.
Where are you, well then, don't let me hurt your feelings, Mayor. That's Mayor.
Say a word till after it's already signed.
All right, that was easy. Any other business?
Can I have 2 minutes? Y'all can time.
You sure can.
All right, the, committee for the Park and Recreation met last Thursday.
You gonna say anything?
2 things happened. The first thing happened, we talked about, they are getting more and more involved in getting, they've got a list, one of them has, of places that you can go to get, grants, trust, whatever, and they're starting to pursue that. I've also made a contact to one of our main people that is interested in being a partner with us. And I'm waiting on getting back a date from him, for him to come, because he wants to see and look what original plans we've got and go through the school. There could be a couple other ones that may follow in on that. So what we wanted to do, and what they tried to do and think about is that we have an afternoon meeting or whatever, and then have a time to get together over dinner and sit and talk and brainstorm, and we can pick their brains on other people they know that they think they would pull in to help. But it's moving forward. Cody got the guy to come do the asbestos report. I've got it, and if you want it, I'll send it to you. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, really.
But it's also just one half,
It's just the old
the
original
old
school,
original part, yeah.
but it's
But
not, I'll
that's
send
enough
it
for
to
now,
you.
though.
Great reading. But there's not a lot of red ink on where there are problems. And I mean, they went from everything.
Yeah.
And you gotta stop and think, the roof's gotta come off, all that's coming out of there anyhow.
That'd be good.
So, the committee was in favor of that about, I think they want to try to keep trying to move and do things more positive because the interest is growing. And, if we can get these first 3 or 4 people or 2 or one, even one big name to come in and say they're interested in helping. Also, there is a reunion in August, I think. And, Travis said that there's about, I don't know, 200 or 300, 400 people that went to school comes back to that reunion.
Every year.
So I've already requested that the committee be there and they put a sales pitch and they work the crowd. Because if we're already moving and we're going forward, we've got things positive, these other people will be more apt to jump in. And, you know, I don't care if they give us committee $500 or $100, all that'll add up.
Sure.
You know. So, just to give you a bet on that. And then there is a proposal that I've got, we need to get everybody a copy to or send to everybody about doing a Eastwood Trojan disc golf course. It would be 18 holes. We got 9 now, right? But, it costs us about 10 grand. There are volunteers that would help put it together, and Janice and the reason the thinking was from the committee was if we've got the playground, now we can add the disc golf course. Then we're showing people we're investing in that area out there, and then come back and keep pushing the school. So that's for your consideration. I know I've already been told that she does not have the money in her budget. So, yeah, and I said, where's the money coming from? So, but anyhow, for y'all's consideration, because I think there's a lot of possibility of moving forward on that area, and it's not going to cost us a ton to do it with all the volunteers. And I didn't realize how big stuff, but everybody on that committee had known people that were playing frisbee golf. That's what it's called. Disc golf. Disc golf.
That's a name brand.
Can I call it disc? Is it okay if I just call it frisbee? Because that's what it looks like.
As long as you find it, you can call it what you want to.
So for consideration, I'd like for us to, you know, y'all want more research or whatever. And I've got a poop sheet here that'll kind of fill in, but I think we ought to consider it. I think while the iron's hot, we need to keep doing it. They've already got the foundation laid, right?
We should, within the next 2 weeks, start putting pieces together to start building, and I'm waiting on quotes to come in for, the rubberized boarded
surface.
Ooh,
I
that's
think Terry can take 10,000 and turn it into 100 if that was 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Just give me a little bit more, Mayor.
I didn't really expect it to take 2
I'm
minutes.
getting there.
But, you know, we discussed that earlier, that, you know, things like that, you know, we want to be good stewards of money, but $10,000 is kind of low hanging fruit
Yeah.
especially for what you get out of it,
Yeah.
the bang for the buck. And making that within a destination, a point where people go, that's what we're trying to do.
Well, then you said something about that there are a lot of people out of town that come and just use the 9.
Yeah. Look, when we put up the 9 holes, I was amazed at how many people started using it. A lot of college students, during holidays and seasonal times, we'll see families come in. Christmas, I have shirts I'll give away every now and then if I see somebody, especially with kids. And a dad and his son from another state had come in to visit parents, and they heard about it, so they came to play.
Once again, quality of life, something to do.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So where do we go from there?
Activity.
We'll get on the budget to go further with if everyone's okay with it, and see what we need to do to get the
I'm gonna
disc golf course.
I've asked to be the pro there.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't hate anything.
Yeah, you be whatever title you want.
I'm not gonna leave it out. When I drive over most nights, I get a bag of chips.
Black and gold and black and yellow, and keep
Just
with the
to make it
name of
real
the
healthy,
school
I
and
get a
try
milk
to
tea.
incorporate the history behind it. Cause I have a young man in Pro Jack, so that plays, he goes to Jack State now,
And we were just chit chatting. He said, we need 18 holes. And I told him about the thought process behind all that. And he said, we'll help. Tell us what to do. But then he's like, where's Eastwood?
Exactly.
And so I tried to explain it to him. He said, now, for senior skip day, we did something over at there was like a practice field over there. Is it close to that? And I said, that's Eastwood. But he didn't know what it was called, but he grew up here, but he knew it was just an old practice field. So I think it's gonna be able to educate these people about the history of
Sure.
the area.
Thank y'all for your consideration.
Is there anything else?
Awesome.
Anything else?
I know it's work session, but I'll say happy birthday to
I
Council.
didn't know she was 65.
Twenty-nine.
old 70 days.
All right, you do. I think you look great no matter what age.
Oh.
Hey, y'all,
Thank you
y'all
very
set
much.
it up.
Thank you.
She had a wonderful birthday party, I tell you, it was amazing.
The real day's the 13th.
It's today.
Anything else?
This is a city council work.
Yes, sir. Thank you all. Give us 5 minutes to set up. We'll adjourn and come back in about 5 minutes. Thank you all.
Turn that thing off, I got to wait. If we're talking
Laura Copeland, Finance Manager, City Treasurer, effective March 31st, 2023. And then finally, delete item 14, consider action to approve the 2022 market manager with Carol Miller for the 2023 farmers market per the attached.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, move we adopt the agenda as amended.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Perhaps I wanted to get through it so we wouldn't have to have that additional resignation.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 7 is proclamations. I do not believe we have any tonight. So item 8 is public comment time. This public comments concerning any agenda item. Anything that's on the current agenda, you'd like to come up and approach the council, this is time to do so. All right, see no one come forward, we'll move forward to item 9.
Consider action to receive the alley vacation report from the Planning Commission and schedule a public hearing for April 24, 2023 at 7 o'clock p.m. for the alley vacation request of Leah and Sheila Morgan.
So moved.
Yeah, this is action to vote for public. So yes, we need a motion and a second.
Second. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Thank you, John. Any further discussion? Sorry. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to item 10.
Consider action to accept the bid report for bid number 23-05, HVAC improvements to Jacksonville Community Center, JPWP number 23-113, and approve resolution number R-2168-23 to award bid number 23-05 to Coosa Heating and Cooling.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 11.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the site man agreement for fire department physicals and screenings per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 12.
Consider action to authorize the mayor on behalf of the Waterworks Gas and Sewer Board to sign the 2023 Public Awareness Program per the attached.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 13.
Consider action to approve the farmers market of Jacksonville rules and regulations per the attached. Market dates April 1 through October 28.
So moved. Sir. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? This is just to approve the rules that we sent out in the packet, not number 14 that we're going to cut out and bring back up next meeting. So, no more further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 14 we're skipping and we go to 15.
Consider action to approve the amended job description of building inspector, range 20 per the attached, and request the civil service board's approval of same.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 16.
Consider action to approve the new job description of assistant building inspector, range 18 per the attached, and request the civil service board's approval of same.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 17.
Consider action to appoint Councilmember Terry Wilson as voting delegate for the Alabama League of Municipalities annual business meeting on May 12, 2023 at 3 o'clock p.m. Council President Tony K. Taylor as first alternate and Councilmember Cody Galloway as second alternate.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 18.
Consider action to approve the employment of the One Ball, recreation maintenance laborer, range 3, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273 due to the resignation of Dwayne Hardy.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 19.
Consider action to accept the following resignations. Item A is Dylan Ty Glass, hard laborer, effective March 6, 2023. And item B is Laura Copeland, finance manager, city treasurer, effective March 31, 2023.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'll start off then. Thank you. It's difficult to lose a valued employee. In the profession I was in, there were a lot of people came and went, and Chief Carroll will understand it also. You never want to stop someone from bettering themselves. Being selfish, with cities, I'd rather you not go. But under better yourself, it's the right thing to do for you. So once again, I appreciate everything that you've done for us.
You'll be missed.
You're gonna make me cry now.
So what, that picture quick?
Yeah, that's the rumor.
All right, anything further? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Consent agenda.
Item 20, budget amendments. Item 21, request to attend conference training session with costs exceeding $1,000. Item 22, disposition of surplus property. Item 23, records disposal.
So moved. Sir.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 24 is public comments concerning any item, any general item. So if there's anything we'd like to bring forth to the council, feel free to come to the podium. Just make sure you state your name for the record. Anyone like to come forward and address the council? All right, seeing no one come forward, we'll move on to council member remarks.
I'm sure others will echo this, but congratulations to our Jacksonville High School basketball team for keeping the blue MAP trophy in the city of Jacksonville. What a wonderful way to just come together as a community. And I think, Mayor, you might have something about that. Do you have the celebration in your?
Yeah, as soon as I get my calendar.
Okay, yeah. And I want to say a thank you to Principal Dr. Russ Waits for the wonderful pride hats we've got here showing the Old English J. But congratulations to Coach Buzon and to the team for that tremendous showing again at those championship games. We're all very proud of your accomplishment.
Anyone else? I believe Andy said it so well, I don't know what else to say. And the mayor's supporting his cap.
I wanted to thank the street department for putting back the sign in Eastwood community so quickly.
Put some Loctite on those.
Yes.
All right, there's nothing else. We'll, mayor's report.
Thank you. Law, what, 14 years we worked together?
15, actually.
15 years. And we both stayed out of jail.
That was my job.
And I appreciate you very much.
She still has 2 weeks.
Keeping track of all our finances and keeping us all doing the right thing, supposed to. So we will miss you, but we understand that you have a great opportunity, and we wish you well for that. Also, I want to thank you for being willing to maybe continue to help us a little bit get through this transition, because it is going to be difficult for us. But we'll get through it. But thank you for being willing to do that too, to help us in that time frame. You're going to be learning a new position, new people, a new job, but still willing to try to come back and help us some in your spare time to help us get through the transition. We appreciate that very much.
And that was one of Mayor Ford's, when I told Mayor Ford that he was very agreeable to that. That, you know, if I I needed to do a little bit of double duty, then he certainly understood that.
And that's, I know that's gonna be very helpful for us, so appreciate that very much. I will say something about the boys basketball celebration. That's gonna be on the square on Sunday, April the 2nd at 2:30. We'll have a celebration and hopefully a parade around the square like we did last year. That seemed to be very popular, a very exciting time for them, and what an honor for us to, and for those young men to win that 2 years in a row, to win the state championship. So it's a great accomplishment. We're really thankful for the way they handled themselves through all that. And so it's very, very good for our city. It's spring, so you need to get your gardening skills going. So the library is going to help you with that. They give beginning gardening series. So you'll read those dates up there, March 18th, 10 a.m., choosing the right plant. March 25th at 10 a.m., choosing the right place for your plant. And then April 1st at 10 a.m., care and maintenance of your plant. So a lot of information for you there, so take advantage of that. And then JSU is going to have their fun day again and Andy's going to talk to, he knows about that, going to talk to us about that a little bit.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, this is the 3rd annual Extravaganza, Family Fun Day. And so this is something that the first family, President Killingsworth, and his family began years ago. And so this year will be 8 April 2023. And this is a chance for all of the community to come together. Start the day with a 8 o'clock a.m. pickleball tournament. That does require registration. And if you're looking for the registration, all the information, it is available at jsu.edu. But the pickleball tournament is something that is new this year for anybody who's not played pickleball. I believe I heard our city attorney talking about another venue in the area who's converting some tennis courts over to pickleball courts. It's a fun, I see Janice is gone, but pickleball is quickly growing. It might be the fastest growing sport, if I read that right, in the United States right now. And so, but that is a 2-person team pickleball tournament. You do register for that. There's a small cost associated with it. The egg hunt is free for children 10 and under. The egg hunt is at 1 o'clock. There's no cost for the egg hunt participation, but they do want to know who's coming, so they do ask for a registration. And you can also, at the same time, consider making a scholarship donation. Students, alumni, faculty, and friends are competing for scholarship donations, and these are all for scholarships that go directly to students. And so that is something that if you're looking for a way to enjoy just a family fun day, come to the Extravaganza on April the 8th. Those activities begin at 8, so they go through noon for pickleball, and then that egg hunt is, if I got that again, they're at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so hopefully people will have a chance to come out and just spend some time in spring weather.
Thank you, Eddie. I noticed it says and more, so maybe that's where I'll see where the cake is. I haven't seen anything about the birthday cake. That is my birthday, so I assume it'll be birthday cake. So that's probably what the and more is, must be for my, well, moving ahead. Remind you once again about Take Pride in Jacksonville Day. You know, that's always a big day for us, and it's an important day to clean up the town, get things looking better. Saturday, April the 15th is a free landfill day. We'll have the recycling truck there, so you bring all kinds of your items in, and they'll get rid of. The shredder trucks will be there again if you have documents you need to shred. Just a great opportunity to clean out and clean up the city. So still looking for volunteers for that. So be happy to have everyone come down and sign up. We'll be doing that at the current City Hall building on Alexander Road, where we'll be meeting this time since the other building is missing in action. So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other business to come before the council?
I do know one of the other activities is a petting zoo that's there, Mayor. So perhaps for your birthday, you'll be a part of the petting zoo in one way or the other. Either we'll get to see you in there, or you'll be on the outside of the petting zoo.
Thank you very much.
All right, item 28.
Consider a motion to adjourn into the executive session under the provisions of the Code of Alabama, Section 36-25A-781, to discuss the job performance of certain public employees.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion second. Any discussion? Just make sure everyone is aware that we will be adjourning. We will not be coming back into the council chambers. There's no other, that said, roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Laster?
Yes.
Mr. Galloway?
Yes. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you.